entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
All right. Boom. Just like that, we're back. This is Prime Minds. I know we took about a week off. We took an episode off, but we're back. We're not going to be gone for long. If we're gone, we're not going to stay gone for long. This is episode 14. A lot of things came out. Parts, Pets, Parity is the name of this episode. And we're back. This is King Dav, Bunzaga, By the Dip, Vita G, Z Mackin. We're the Prime Minds, and we have a fan favorite coming up with us today. Icetoad is coming back on the show. We're going to talk some D's and some P's. But first, how you boys feeling this Saturday morning?
Hey, yeah, this is Bunzaga. I'm feeling great. Feeling really good about the project. Enjoyed my my little break last week and ready to hit the ground running.
Go. Who's next? By the Dip. We're going to go alphabetical order.
Hey, what's up? This is By the Dip. Feeling pretty good, man. Excited to get Icetoad up here and talk a little bit about the mechanics and get a little bit of information about this.
Oh, yeah. Right on. This is Vita G. Man, I'm feeling great. It was nice to take a little week off, get a little energized. During that time, we also got some good info from the devs, so I'm ready to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
What up? This is Z Mackin. Just over here relaxing and feeling great. Definitely took advantage of the week off and just been kind of recharging, getting ready to go. Talk with the Prime Minds.
We're back, boys. I'm glad y'all got some rest and relaxation. The reason I took the week off because I was working all day, but it's all good. We do that too. And during that time, a combat guide preview came out, right? It was dropped, I think, like 10 days ago, not last week, the week before that, on the Thursday. And when it came out, I was like, shit, I wish there was a podcast I could listen to just to get the quick info. I'm like, oh, damn, that's our job. So here we are. This is what it is. And we have Icetoad to come on himself. And I think let's bring Icetoad up, man. Let's get right into it. He's an early riser. He's here with us. Icetoad, welcome back. I see you're here. I think you're on mute. Icetoad was here before I was, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I think his mic's muted.
A tech wizard having audio problems.
And I did check in with him. I know he's here. I know he's actually here. He didn't stand us up because he wouldn't do that. True man of the community.
I'm looking right at him. Maybe he went and got his coffee or something.
No, he's good. Shit, let's start. I'm sure he'll pop on. The combat guy was dropped, guys. Divinities and purities. I think we've been asking. The first thing we were asking about was more information. What the divinities do, what the purities do. Of course, this is not the end of all of it, but it tells us a little bit about what it does in combat. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think?
I'm actually pretty happy about it. Just coming from like a gameplay perspective and just thinking about how people will react that don't have a D5. That they'll see that it's a tiny boost, but it's not gonna destroy the game. And so I think I was happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here, man. Like honestly, not a big advantage, which I like because again, this is not right. What do they say?
Pay to win. Pay to win.
Pay to win. There you go. Pay to win. This is a skill-based game, so I like how like for instance, the rare between epic, it's only like a 0.5 difference, which I agree with that, man. Just because you don't want to make people that have like these 5Ds, 4Ds, 3Ds too powerful to where nobody can beat the game, because then no one's gonna want to play the game.
Mm-hmm. So with the divinity, like we're looking at, it goes from high to low, kind of scales up. From the traits, the common, the rare, the epic, the divine. When you use one of those parts, say for instance the common, it says here it deals 20 life damage, and then it goes up by about 2, like every step up you take from common to rare. It deals 22 life damage. From rare to epic, it deals 24 life damage. And then the divine part will deal 27 life damage in the example we gave. So from a common to a divine part, that's about 7 life damage difference. I guess it took him a while to think about that, to work it out, to make sure it's not so much of an advantage, but that it's still worth getting some divine parts. And this is just in combat. So, yeah. Do you guys think that was enough? And I'm wondering, like, what the Discord is thinking. I'm sure there's a give and take there, but kind of what's the sentiment of the community on that too?
Yeah, so I do. Yeah, I did just want to talk to that because there were some people who were satisfied with the way that some of this rolled out, right? Especially people who were talking about, well, I have an divine part that's matched to my core essence, and there was a lot of conversation around that, and I just think a major reason why we have Icetoad on is to address some of that, but it's also like let's everybody be a little bit patient. Like, this is 2 pages out of an entire combat manual, so this is not the all comprehensive knowledge that we have about this or that's out there. It's just what we have right now. So I think there was a stir up in the community. Particularly from people who've spent a lot of money, and it's like, I get it. Like, you spent your money, you want to make sure that you spent it well, but like, let's be patient and let the devs actually like do their job and release the full manual, and then we can really get in and see how all of this is connected.
Right. Yeah, I think
Not only that too, but we also got to take into consideration the fact that this is still a game in development, right? Like, there's still going to be plenty of balancing, nerfing, and buffing that have to go on. Once we haven't even got into alpha yet, so when you take a look at this and you notice there's only a 7-point difference between a common and a divine part, it may not be a big enough difference when you get into the actual game mechanics, right? Or it may be a huge difference. So we like Vita said, we got to be patient a little bit. I totally understand where a couple of those people were coming from when they said they spent extra money buying, the divinely pure parts, though. So, I mean, with the information given out, you kind of have to stay true to it, but it's a balancing act between staying true to what you've put out before and still making a fun and challenging game for everybody that's fair to play.
Yeah, and I'd like to make a point on that, especially is that there's been a few people, we all know who they are, that have assumed things. They just blurt out something that they want, and they start spreading it around the community when people new to the server come on, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get this and we're going to get that, when like the devs never even said it. They're just assuming it, and they're just saying what they want to hear, or they're saying what they want to believe, and the developers never confirmed one way or the other like what we were getting. And so I think it's important for us to really look at the fine print and really look at what has been written and really has been said by Champions Ascension, and not just random community members.
Right. Or just have the disclaimer, speculation disclaimer. Like we always say, hey, this is just speculation, right? Say something like that. But I think you're right.
Would like to remind
Vita,
you that this
Mackin,
information is not financial advice and is purely educational.
We need the speculation one too. But they didn't talk about the divinity and purity matching parts too, right? And I was and knowing that it does something, knowing there's a give and take there, right? So if you have a divine part that's not matching, you got a little bit of diversity, you can do different things. But if you have divine and pure matching, when those are matching, it's supposed to give it some type of extra boost. I think that's what some people were upset about, but the fact is that it wasn't even addressed yet because, like you guys said, it's just 2 pages so far in this whole guide here. But I'm pretty sure the divine pure matching part, there's going to be something to that too. It's just not out yet.
And the mixing parts, right? Too. I think there's more to that. Like for instance, how we know that, what is it? Arcane beats life, life beats death, right? Yeah. So why wouldn't I want to have a mix of those? Like, for instance, what if a Grundle that had death fangs bit me, but then I had a mix of life in there with one of my parts, and that kind of slowed the bleeding, right? Like, how I don't know if it was Icetoad, and please correct me if I'm wrong, said that if you were to get bit by someone like with fangs, death, that would be poison, and then it would degenerate your health over time. What if you had one of those life parts that could possibly stop the bleeding for a little bit, or you wouldn't be losing health that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Lower the effect of what
Like
the
defensive.
death part did.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would
Exactly.
be a lot of calculations to take into effect with all the different possibilities of parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it could just be for the essence too, though, which would still be a lot of calculations getting that
Right.
down. You know,
Yeah, not to
which I think they're
mention
working out.
they're also kind of toying around with the idea about having pets affect battle too. And so I thought I'm kind of curious if that means that we're going to have the pets in the arena with us, like running around, next to us, or if it's just going to be more like a slot, like, oh, I've got my like jewelry, where it's like an invisible bonus.
Cheering you on in the background from the sidelines.
Because I think that would be cool, like to have like my cat running around growling at people.
I think it would be awesome to have
In
it
the
both
arena.
ways. So, like, you have them cheering you on from the side, and you get a special, some rounds they can't be involved in, and then other matches where you have pets involved with your champions, both on the field at the same time.
And I think
All
we
right.
got the man on now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, ISO, walk us through it, man. Like, is a hardcore crowd gonna be running around the arena?
And I think we're jumping ahead too. Is Icetoad here?
Hey everyone! Oh, I'm here.
You got your coffee.
Got yeah,
What's up?
I got my coffee and got my my beauty sleep before coming
good.
here.
Good. First of all, Icetoad is our first reoccurring guest. So our first guest that's been on twice.
Oh my god!
Is historic,
I'm the
monumental
Anecdotal
occasion.
Queen of Prime Minds.
Yes. Get an award.
An honored
Yeah,
guest.
like in SNL. So I'm the most recurring invited guest. That's awesome.
Yes.
It's an honor.
Yeah,
That's great.
you want to start by just kind of framing the battle guide leak that we got? You talk a little bit about that, or
So
whoever you want to go with it. Mm-hmm.
No, of course. I mean, there has been a lot of work behind the scenes in these past few months, not just implementing, but also working on the design of the systems that we're going to be implementing in the future. And we wanted those, since we've already have all those designs on paper, we wanted to create a very detailed and fun to read battle guide so that all of you could be able to start theorizing and thinking about how combat will work before we do the release later this fall. So we actually have already nailed down a substantial amount of mechanics and a substantial amount of effects and spells that the parts do. That said, I actually had a meeting yesterday actually 2 days ago with Johnny C and Tremel, where we discussed some of the roles that specifically that the parts played in the moment to moment, not as much as the spells and the effects that they cost, like for example making someone go blind, but more how claws, for example, would how they tie into the linking and the comboing that you usually see into fighting games. So are claws openers, finishers, linkers? Are they disablers? What is the role of tails? How do we envision the different families play out and use those parts and their weapons, and how do they chain into combat, into the combat flow, so that when people actually pull off a combo or use the right part at the right moment, they feel smart, they feel rewarded. So that actually decanted into us changing a little bit of what we had already thought for certain parts, for certain effects and spells for certain parts. So we are actually going this week. We're going to be going back and revisiting some of those, and even we're going to have to like re-implement a little bit of what's already been implemented, which is par for the course on game development. But again, talks a little bit to what you guys were discussing earlier, specifically on game development and on game design and on balancing and on this moment to moment. There's going to be a lot of changes, and there's going to be a lot of things being balanced. Games like League of Legends and Dota are still doing balance patches, and they're still changing things from the character. So especially for those of you that are new to the gaming space, be very aware that these things change. and it's normal, and what is, and not just because of the numbers, but just because of how players evolve. So let's say right now, if the game was out, the current meta was very centered around block breaking, which by the way is an alpha that I'm giving right now. We have a block breaking mechanic where you can run around the arena, and then if you run towards the enemy and you use your heavy hit, if the enemy is blocking, then you're going to be able to block break, but the enemy can block at the right time, and then they will be able to parry that attack. And so you actually punish the person that's breaking the block. That thing's got layers. And so let's say that block breaking is the current meta. And then this savant 14-year-old kid figures out a way to, always parry, or figures out a combination between, certain parts, and how that actually counters the current meta. And then suddenly, slowly but surely, the meta starts shifting. And now everyone that has, I don't know, life horns with a death tail, with arcane wings, with this and that, suddenly is dominating the leaderboards, right?
Yeah.
And that just happened. That was just an emergent consequence of some kid actually figuring something out. And then you have to balance that. And so maybe people that had built everything around just block breaking are going to feel like, oh shit, now what was very strong now doesn't feel as strong. And we hadn't even before we changed anything. It's just how the meta shifts. So be very aware that this is a natural evolution of especially of competitive games, of games that involve more than one person, especially games that are not just pure PvE, where the balancing actually comes, or the elements of balance actually come from more than just the numbers, more than just the design. It also comes from what the community has discovered, from how people are currently playing, what the professionals are doing, etc. And so making any decisions, any purchase decisions or any decisions based on the design of the game design currently is like making them based on the weather.
Yeah, it's
pretty much. Guys, sorry, I'm getting a call from my wife. My daughter is a little bit sick, so I'm gonna take it. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Oh, for sure. Do your thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So it's like info. This is like pre-alpha. This is like prototype stage, and everything is gonna change. And like you said, I mean, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be going in and finding the OP builds that dominate everyone, and they're going to have to adjust the meta because of it. I know
Icetoad said it'll be a 14-year-old, but I think it'll be a 12-year-old. We'll see.
Hey, man,
Who knows?
It might be a 10-year-old, and I'm going to be looking on YouTube to try to find these tricks too, because as you've seen, like any game, like we play Call of Duty, and there's like a certain gun that's just freaking OP that kills everybody, then they have to buff it. I mean, it's totally understandable.
Let's reflect on that. The alpha block breaking, Gonzaga. You're in the games.
I think that's awesome.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah,
Explain that. Explain that more for me.
So, for example, there's block. You can hold up a shield, or you can hold up your block, like your two-handed weapon or whatever, if you're parrying, and you can stay in that stance. It's kind of like a cheesy way to avoid damage. You just keep on blocking forever.
Hurtling.
Oh, the Mayweather style. Hey, Icetoad.
Well, good at home. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just explaining what block breaking is, and so what.
Totally. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So what block breaking is if you see someone doing that, they're continuously blocking. You can use it. You can use an ability or like a mechanic to break that block, and usually it'll stagger them or stun them for a couple seconds, and so it's kind of like you're punishing them for continuously blocking.
With that. Okay. With maybe there's a bar, or energy bar, or maybe something. If you have a real strong attack, you're gonna like do the block breaking, like have that coming in.
Yeah, but on top of
it, we currently think of you having to change the. So we have two cameras right now: the locked-in camera and like the free camera that allows you to move faster. We call it running. It's fast jogging. And so the when you are in that mode, if you are coming forward towards the enemy and you time your heavy attack in the right moment, then you're going to be able to do a block break. Your character actually does a different type of heavy attack, and he goes like, ah! And then if the other character is blocking, then you'll break the block. The consequences of that's not just free. It's an attack that has, so these attacks and a lot of things and a lot of design elements in fighting games have to do a lot with animations. So these attacks actually have long animations and what we call long recovery animations. So if you don't use it to actually block break, but you're just using it to just mess around or at the wrong moment, then you're going to be vulnerable to be attacked for a while, because the recovery phase, the recovery animation of that attack is quite long. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. A lot of strategy. So
Question
we're
on
picturing
that,
a game
Icetoad.
where you could use the whole arena, move around, run around, do different strategies like that. Right? And then we've seen some long attacks, some long range attacks from the AOs, especially.
We're actually
go ahead.
We're actually working the AOs a little bit. Tramel had a really good idea for her, because we weren't entirely feeling her kit, like her attack kit. When we were doing our tests and comparing her with like the Carcadon and the Whisperer, which are like in a really good place right now. We weren't feeling very, very excited about how she was playing, and so Trems came up with this hybrid model where she still retains a little bit of her ranged kit, but she's now more formidable also in close range. Because that what was happening before was that if you ever caught up to her, she went down like a fly. She was like too dependent on range. And I think this is going to be a recurring theme for us on how we design some of the characters. I don't think we're going to have pure ranged, but we're probably going to have melee and hybrids.
Nice.
And will range come into play with some of the other characters, or how are y'all thinking about that?
I mean, they will have ranged abilities, but that will not be their entire kit, because that was a little bit of how she was being designed.
Okay, got it.
So it's a hybrid. They're going to be able to hold their own in melee, but they're also going to have some ways to either attack from a further distance or gain distance quickly, or more often, depends on the family as well. So that the gameplay between the families feels different. So just to give you guys an example, the Carcadon is pretty much the king of melee, right? He's big. When he gains momentum, just like a rhino, he's low to start, but once you let him get momentum, if you do, he's sort of unstoppable. He's hard to stop. He's tanky, and so we're making sure that each of these families has a role within that like combat ecosystem.
Nice.
That sounds
Mac,
pretty cool.
Who's got a question?
Yeah, I was wondering. I started in the leak that you guys put out. Was it about 3 weeks ago with the gameplay? You guys had a lot of what was it? Stopping your moves with blocks. So
yes,
I'm
fainting.
guessing that's gonna. The feigning. I'm guessing that's going to be a lot to do with the parry and stuff. But so with this block break, you said it's going to take a lot to build up. You have to run into it and stuff like that. Is that going to be a move that you can feint as well? Because it seems like it's going to be something that like you have to put a lot of thought into, and it's going to take a lot of your energy, right?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Currently you can't feint the heavy attack, the block breaker. It's not feintable currently. But that's a really I love that you guys noticed that, because feinting is actually another big element, another big layer of this type of games. Because what you do when you feint is that you pretty much are playing mind games with the opponent, forcing him to block break or forcing him to maybe use a dash when he shouldn't have dashed away from the attack, or maybe block himself, right? Maybe the opponent is doing a heavy attack and you feint a short attack, and then that forces him to also cancel his attack. So there's many layers again to how feinting and the mind games of feinting works, and that when you usually look at some fighting games like at the high competitive level, those mind games and those elements like block breaking and parrying and all these like additional mechanics all come into place to create very watchable and very entertaining combat. And what usually happens is that when we all start playing champions, I myself included, you're not mastering any of these yet. Like you're just learning how to attack pretty much, right? And then as you get more comfortable, you start understanding just naturally, which is what some of the best things about playing video games is how your mind learns by itself and starts getting used to certain situations and starts reacting to other situations. So that during that learning process, all these little other elements and mechanics start coming into play naturally, and so you start doing blocking, and then you start actually blocking better and start parrying, and then you start understanding what's the right distance to block break and when to dash and how to feint and when to not feint and when to block. And so all this I expect everyone to start out pretty much at the same knowledge and like muscle memory level, and then all these elements just allow for depth and depth and depth and depth and more entertaining fights, and actually start differentiating the cream of the crop.
So, Icetoad,
Yes.
real quick question. One of our viewers asked this: how detailed will the battle guide be? Will it be regularly added or updated as we go?
It's a good question. It will be very, very detailed. It's let me check right now, because I have a V1 of that here. We're actually going. I think we're going to split it in two because it's quite large. Where is my
Nice.
Thank
guide?
you, Spider Drop, for that question, by the way.
Let me open it. So the current guide that I have is 12 pages long already,
Dang.
with a lot of information. It's a PDF that has 12 pages of information. That's the first part. I expect the second part to be at least 7 or 8 more pages. So you're going to get like 20 pages of information on combat, something around that.
That's awesome.
And so I plan to release it in PDF first, because we still don't. I don't think we're going to upload this to the website. No, actually, strike that. I'm still not sure. We're thinking of maybe doing like a Git doc for this. But I'm still not sure how we're going to break down this PDF that we're building into like images that can be updated. But if we have a lot of changes, we will definitely release like new updated versions, whether it's on a Git doc, whether it's just releasing a new update of the PDF and for everyone to download, or whether it's just having a section of the website that has the combat. We're working on other things on the website right now. So
you could put it on the codex, the CA codex.
Yeah, so that's the alternative right now, or the codex.
This is all about the arena combat, like this whole battle guide, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Only arena.
Okay.
Only one arena and only 1v1.
Nice. And when it comes to the I don't know if anybody else had a question, but I had a question about the purity. We kind of went through the divinity before you got on, just knowing that it scales up right from common to rare.
Yep.
The attack scales up, which makes sense. But looking at the purity, can you kind of explain what that attack is and how that would work in the game?
So purity actually affects. So the core essence of the champion determines the fury of the titan that the champion will have. So the ultimate, the super. As you attack and as as things happen in combat, you accrue fury of the titans charge. And when the Fury of the Titans charge gets full, then you're able to use your super, your Fury of the Titans. And that ability is tied to your house essence, to the champion's original house essence, as I mentioned. And depending on your purity level, that ability becomes stronger. That's pretty much how it works.
Mm-hmm. B, do you have a question?
I've got one I can mention.
All right.
Yeah, go for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, so you mentioned the parts earlier and how you guys are kind of doing a whole refactor of how they play into things, and it kind of stirred this idea in my mind where, based on your attack and based on the situation and like the actions and reactions, it sounds like these parts are going to kind of have they're going to turn the attack into a kind of like a custom attack based on that part. Is that kind of the direction you're thinking, or?
What we're thinking is that you're going to have an ability tied to the part and the house. So let's say, just to give you an example, let's say that life claws steal a little bit of health. That's what they do, right? And so depending on the rarity level, they deal more damage and probably steal more health because of that. But what we were so that's just the effect, right? That in a vacuum could be happening in a lot of different genre of games. Do you know what I mean? Like that is not a mechanic that's very specific to fighting games, right? To the type of combat that we're doing. We call ourselves arena battler, right? Just because of how the flow of the battle goes. And so so that in a vacuum could be in a MOBA, or it could be in an MMO, or it could be part of an arena battler. And so the other element of battle that we've been discussing is the role of those claws in the moment-to-moment combat. So the role in are they, again, to what I mentioned earlier about animations, because a lot of this is defined by the animation itself. Are they an opener? Are they, so are they like very quick? That's usually an opener, like, like a quick attack. That what happens in this type of games is that whenever you attack, the character enters the enemy. If you're successful with the hit, the enemy enters an animation, which is called a hurt animation, which leaves them vulnerable for a little bit while they perform that animation, right? And so if you change your attacks correctly, the speed and you have attacks that have the right types of speed, you're able to connect more than one attack before the enemy is able to compose himself. Let's say that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how you get combos. And so depending on what we're currently working on is, depending on the part, what role do we want that part to play in that moment-to-moment arena battler type of combat?
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And then will they just happen on their own, or would there be like a special, like instead of using a quick attack with my weapon, what separates that from like a quick attack with my claws or something, or does it automatically happen?
This is the last alpha I'm giving you, because then I'm going to make the combat guide useless. But
yes, alpha alert! We love the alpha.
My Discord stopped working. Give me a second.
And parts, the Fury of the Titans as well, their own like more specific roles within battle, so that there's a reason for players to use them, to combine them, and again, as I think I've said it in the Discord before, we're being very we're giving a lot of thought in how to prevent just one a champion that's made of different parts. How to prevent that person that owns that champion to just using one part over and over again, for example. That's something that's undesirable.
That would dominate.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
in that aspect, based on all the information we've seen, the champions have, between like 200 and 550 health. And then getting back to the information that was dropped for Purity, like the Nova Blast is saying that it's going to take away 500 health from someone within the first 1/3 radius of this blast, right? So is it going to be like the special move, the Fury of the Titans move is going to be an automatic win once you hit it if you activate it when the person's close enough to you, even if they haven't taken any damage? Or how are you guys going to balance that? Because that move seems pretty freaking OP right now.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, don't trust the numbers. Those are napkin numbers. Those numbers change every hour, pretty much. The number that you guys are seeing, that's the least information. That's like the last piece of information that you guys should be looking at. It's the numbers, because those numbers are they're make believe, pretty much right now, at
Mhm.
least. Well, I mean, we use them to fill out the combat, etc. But what's 500 today could be 600 tomorrow. What's on the spreadsheet, it's just there to elucidate the scaling more than any specific value right now.
Okay.
But to your question, we don't intend for the Fury of the Titans to be an insta win button. For now, that could change. Maybe there's a Fury of the Titans that's really hard to charge for, or I actually last alpha. There's a Fury of the Titans right now that accumulates. So the more that character is able to use their Fury of the Titans, which actually translates into the longer the battles go, then the more at risk their enemy is. And so the first cast of one Fury of the Titans might not be as powerful, but maybe the third or fourth cast is. And that way you create a certain house that's that thrives in longer battles. You know where I'm going?
Yeah, so you use it over time, and as the battle progresses, it gets more powerful.
So you want to defeat that house earlier, for example. But we're in our design philosophy, we're not looking for instant win buttons. Not at all. That should not happen.
Thank you for the
Nice.
clarification. I so appreciate it. So you're pretty much saying everything we see can all change. So all these people out there having discussions about, it only being 2 points more, this is all irrelevant for right now. We don't need to be arguing about this kind of stuff.
What you should be looking at is there's definitely scaling between the rarity of the parts. That is happening, right? For now. But what you should be reading into, or what I would recommend, what I would do, and what I do when I read other games that are out there is, unless the game is already out, while it's in development, the way that I read it is I read the intention of the developers more than the exact numbers of where it's landing. And so what you read from us on the leak that we did is our intention is to differentiate parts by rarity by making them stronger as the rarity goes up. You can also read the intention that we're not going crazy about it because we want it to be balanced. So we don't want the numbers are somewhat close to each other still. That can change. But our intention, as you guys can see, is to still give someone that has a common part a fighting chance versus someone that has a divine part, instead of just making divine an instant win button. So again, it's more about the intention, but still make the divine part have an edge over the common part, of course. But so I would advocate for if you want to theory craft and if you want to read on a lot of this before the actual game is out and the actual numbers are down, I would ignore the numbers and look at the intention and the direction of design more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. And I just did want to follow up on that because you had made a comment to the community. You had said everything is likely to change, and I think some of that was maybe interpreted in maybe an unfair light, where it was like, well, what if that means PEs no longer can stake for Messina coin, right? So I just wanted to maybe get like a little bit more of a nuanced answer from you on like when you said everything can change, like what specific elements were you talking about? I mean, it can be as simple as just like combat versus the economics.
I mean,
on
anything gameplay, I'm 100% sure it's going to change. I mean, let me be clear. I still think everything can change because the world changes. Maybe I remember hearing you guys a few episodes ago when you were mentioning that perhaps not having staking in this bear market was actually beneficial because it would have, it could have been bad. And so maybe there are situations in the real world that as a community we can come to an agreement that this thing that seemed written in stone could change. So I'm maybe just trying to make sure that everyone understands that things can change, situations change, uh, and I'm talking about even decisions that are not made by me, but I understand why certain decisions have to be made, taking into account the real situations of the world. So just want to give you guys that context. What is
Right.
the probability of those things changing, though? Low, quite low, right? That's how I actually think about changes. What is the probability of change? More than because change is not binary. Change and things are not black and white. That's not how life works. So and that's how I actually make a lot of my decisions in life. Is what is the probability of this changing, of this happening, etc. So what is the probability of one of the things that I don't know, divine parts doing something that we said they were not going to be doing? Extremely low. Extremely low.
Yeah, the only thing
what
that
is the probability of something that you guys saw on gameplay, what the Fury of the Titans of life that you guys already saw changing? Very, very high. That's how I see change. So this is just my personal view, by the way.
Yeah,
and this is how I advise everyone to look at not just at our project, but pretty much every project that's out there. Is what is the probability of change? Because I don't think change is binary, frankly.
Yeah, my only ask on that is just, when the team finds out about something changing like that, or just as they change, just to let us know, let the community know.
Yeah, 100%. I think you guys, okay. And this is something that you guys have mentioned in the past, and I frankly think you guys were very in a very rightful position of okay, please keep us in the loop, because I think that if we are in this ever changing world and we're all embarked in this project that has the possibility of change and changing elements, the more that everyone is informed, the better. So 100%, I'm very, very aligned with that.
Yes, and me for one, I think all of us, the reason why I love being in this game in Web3 is that it can change in iterations and get better and constantly be developed, and the world will be built out. We're excited. We're here from the beginning to the end. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the transparency and letting us know that things can change. But it's also good to have this, this battle guide out as for a benchmark, right? Some questions that were being asked, and there's some information for us now. So, starting from here, we have an idea of what the divinities, what the purities are doing, at least in the arena combat. Also knowing that it's going to do other things outside of the arena and inside of the arena itself might change and move around. And then there's other combat pages to come out. So we're excited for that too.
Totally. And I mean, even in the combat guide, just to like circle back on that concept, is think of this, guys. Before the combat guide, everything and even internally, like as we progress and as we create these guides and as more things go into documentation internally, and as more things are discussed by the team, as more things are discussed with the community, as more ideas come from the community, right? Then these elements of design become more tangible and become more they become more feasible as elements of design. And so the probability of that changing is lower than the previous iteration. Do you know what I mean? So once we have the combat guide out, it's less probable that everything that's on that guide is going to change. Before you have that guide, everything's still up for grabs. Do you know what I mean? Even internally, I'm not just saying like for you guys, like even for us, because as you work towards the product, you start planting certain flags, and those flags, once they're planted, they're not immovable, but they have a lesser chance to be moved, right? For example, there's a lesser chance of combat not being an arena battler and becoming a turn-based RPG battler right now, right? Because there's many flags that have been planted, but 6 months ago, that was perhaps a coin toss, just to give you guys an example. So,
Right.
and for you guys to also understand how a little bit of how this. It's not complete chaos. It's not just that we're throwing dice every day and changing things on a whim, but I really do want people to have like the right expectations. I don't want anyone to feel frustrated because we change things, because uh frankly, that's one finding the right sweet spots and finding the fun and finding new mechanics and new ways to and new elements of gameplay is one of the most fun things that we can do as designers and as a community.
I love it. I love where we're at. Icetoad, I know you were supposed to pop on here for 15 minutes, man. We appreciate the time, but we want to respect your time. And want to let you enjoy your weekend for sure. But anything else you want to tell us or the community before you get going here?
No, we love. I mean, I community. We love you.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's it.
I don't know. I in this market, I see like whenever I look at other projects, I see a lot of communities being rightfully afraid of the future, and there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of, and I look at us and I mean it seems that you guys are very excited and are excited for us for the future. I think that I feel that we're doing a better job communicating, and I know that job is never done. So we're this is something that we're going to be striving to keep improving. As you guys have seen, Squiddy has sort of taken the bull by the horns and has been doing has been already like igniting a lot of initiatives to keep everyone very up to date with his AMAs and just to stay very close. So thank you for
Oh yeah.
the trust that you guys are putting in us. Thank you. I'm actually want to give another shout out to the Female Tech Warriors Guild. Thank you, for starting this women in champions in gaming initiative. I think that all this I see these initiatives popping up and positive things like what the NGG Guild did a couple of days ago with releasing like this full-fledged content of what Champions is, and that's great. I mean
I think I missed that. The Women's Warrior Guild with champions.
the Female Tech Warriors. There's this guild that's being formed. That it's not just for
It's amazing.
females, not just for women, but it's about pushing forward women in gaming, and it
Oh, it's
starts in
amazing.
Champions. So it's really amazing. And if this is happening within our community, this is the sort of things that I want to see happen in our community, and that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why we are making all this work. It's
I
to
love it.
yeah, it's to. I don't think there's a better moment for a game designer in their life than when they see something emerge in the community from their game. So whether it's the codex or these guilds or this podcast or a video or that's that how comedians say that or the actors say that clapping or applause is their food.
Yeah.
Memes and podcasts are ours. So thank you. That's all I
Nice.
wanted to say.
We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you coming on anytime. Like we said, it's open, and you're doing the communication right now, so we appreciate that. Icetoad, once again, it's been a great time, and we hope to see you back in the future here.
All right, stay awesome, Prime
All right.
Minds. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, man. Enjoy your
Bye.
Saturday.
Thank you.
Bye now. Look at that, guys. Blessed by the man himself. Oof. We can. Good alpha, man. What's your takeaways from that combo? We don't even got to wait till next week. I think he gave us a couple of pieces of alpha there. What are y'all thinking?
I like how they're over time, and this can be for the life of the game, right? They probably will be balancing 20 years later, right? Because there's always going to be somebody, and there always is, right? There's cheaters in the game. There's always little hacks in the game. So, like, I like how they stay on top of it. Yeah, that's very bullish on what I heard today.
There always will be. Yeah. I love the fact that he's saying, "Hey, it's going to change." Like, yeah, tell us. That's cool, right? Like, and that's just the way the world is. Like, he went meta for you guys. Like, he told you the way the world works, you know. And then with the game iterating, different iterations, it's going to change for the point of improving, right? Maybe giving a better play experience.
Yeah, that just helps extend the long-term viability of the game by them being willing to be fluid and change with the moment. You know, because I mean, there's games that I still go back to that are on, you know, Super Nintendo that I like to play, Nintendo 64. They'll never change, right? But then there's games like I play Genshin Impact. That thing updates every month.
Right.
So it's like fresh new stuff. You know?
And remember back in the day we used to play Mortal Kombat and you just spam that one fucking attack and no one could ever beat you. You could never swing because you just keep kicking them and kicking them and kicking them. Like, I hate games like that. So the fact that, you know, they're doing this will address stuff like that too.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to something that Icetoad had said his original podcast. Like, you can't make a game for esports, but if you can take the elements that you see that are represented in esports that are good and integrate them into your game, that gives you a better chance of people wanting to play the game and continuing. So, I'm stoked on it too. Just like, iteration in video games is what you want to see, right? And that's why a lot of us are in this Web3 space anyways. There's so
much like
Yeah, I also think it's important as a community. You know, they're trying to be transparent with us, and they're giving us information. And I kind of feel bad as a community member when they do that. Everybody starts raging about it, and you know, it's like they're giving us information. We're going to complain about the information they're giving us. You know, they're going to be less likely to do that again in the future. And so I think we need to just be. I mean, because I've seen it. You know, like I've created a prototype with some like concept art or placeholder art, shown it to a team of people, and people panic and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't what it's supposed to look like. You know, it's supposed to have this here and it's supposed to have that there. And it's like, no, you don't understand. We're just showing you an example of what's to come. And so I think as a community, we can be a little bit more receptive about that and say, okay, thank you for sharing this. It's not exactly what I was thinking, but at least it's something,
Right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
The way
what they marketed it to us as well, right? Is like they're going to show us stuff, and they've even told us that on our podcast, is they want our opinion, right? Like, it's fine for us to give our opinion, but we need to realize that that's all it is. They're the ones creating the game, and they're going to take what we say into consideration, hopefully, and that's the best we can ask for. Like,
man, we don't know shit. I got my faith. I got my faith in the Icetoad and the devs, right? Some people here might, but I know I don't, right? When it comes to that. But the way that he explained the fighting itself, that's what I was thinking of when I was seeing it. I think it was one of the earlier Thursday leaks, and they were showing the parrying, the blocking, the block cancel. That all leads to not really play to earn, right? Of course, some of the stronger parts are going to come into play, but that's a lot of strategic decision making in the battle, in the fight itself. And so he explained that just now. He's like, you can use one of your running strong attacks, but if you miss, you better watch out, right? Because then now you're going to be vulnerable for a second, right? Exactly. And then if you're using your block too much, you're going to get that block broken by a strong attack. Right. Then you're going to get your ass beat. So there's a lot of strategy in this game, even if you do have a strong, high P prime. You still can get beat by a 0-0 that knows what the fuck they're doing. Right? That can play he even said those mind games. Play some mind games, bluff, use some of the range shit, come up close. So I'm excited about the way this gameplay is working out. And I'm glad it's not the role-playing turn-based shit, right? I'm glad they decided to come like straight to this fighting. Like skip the auto battler, right? Like skip that. Like I'll wait just for this one. So it sounds amazing the way he explained it.
Yeah, I also like the hybrid thing that he was talking about, where instead of forcing someone to be only ranged the whole time and make them really weak when you get up close. I mean, I imagine using my sword or some axe, slashing around. Someone tries to run and I throw it at him, or do some kind of get over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like League of
move.
Legends is like that, right? Like you got tanks, you got ranges, and then you got different types of characters that do different things. But I like the hybrid because like the Karkadon is really slow. That's why, like me personally, right? Like I'm gonna think twice about using it. For me, using the Karkadon. And I know just from the gameplay footage we've seen, like he's really slow. And like that was my biggest fear is like, well, he's really slow. So what if I'm dealing with someone that's really fast? And then I miss
Yeah.
that hit, I'm done. You know?
Yeah. The
Well,
Elgar looks like that too.
and that's I like that because it also allows within the strategy it also allows you to develop your own play style, right? Like I do not play slow characters.
Me
That
neither.
I do not in any game. I don't like moving slow. I would rather do way less damage and be nimble and be able to dodge more. That just works for my play style. So I like that there's also like play style considerations in there,
Yep.
and it's also V Power or Power 5 had brought this up as well, whichever way you read his name. That all of this that we've considered was just base stats. Like none of this has done it had anything to do with armor, with weapons, with any sort of effects you could add on. So I mean, there's just a ton of strategy and ways for people to be able to develop their own play style within this game, which I think is again, it's highly marketable. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, those armors and weapons. I think we'll be naked, right? Just like however our character is into the arena. That's
Hopefully
what we're
in
fighting
underwear
with,
at
you know.
least or something.
Yeah, you look back at the first pictures and it showed the grunt wearing just his loincloth, right?
Yeah, yep.
So
Yeah. So that's the alpha
I mean,
gameplay, and I think we're gonna have to see the land first before we even see some of those materials, right? The swords and the armor and things like that. I'm thinking, but let's like we're ahead of ourselves a little bit, and this might come out. Icetoad gives a lot of alpha. This might be a marathon episode, but and if folks gotta drop off, they gotta drop off. I know how it is, Prime Minds. But all the way back into this they kind of gave us some level setting with the divinities and the purities. We kind of know what we're looking at when we're picking up our primes on OpenSea, right? And I think it begs the question, just looking at this, the way that it's laid out here, I think there's that 7-point difference from a common part to a divine part. What are you all looking at when it comes to picking up a new prime? If you're looking at picking up a new prime, are you going to go for the divinities and the purities based on the information we got today? Or are you just looking at scooping the floor if you were to buy another one?
I'm looking at floor right now, man, just to be honest. Because like I just picked up a floor the other day on our Fenrir and he had epic wings. So in the game that's gonna do some damage, right? I mean he might not be a divinity, but still, I think if you're a skilled enough player, you'll be able to put up a challenge to a lot of these Ds.
It's right under the divinity. I mean, you're only 3, attack points behind in that case.
yeah, I'm definitely not going to be looking for a 0-0. You know what I mean? But I'm on the flip side, I'm not going to be looking for like a 3-2 or a 3-3 or anything like that. I mean, it'd be nice to have divinity, but at this point, if you can find some cheap primes with epic parts, or even a bunch of rare parts, like you're not doing too bad. Like,
Right.
take into consideration the fact that, like I was saying earlier, like the 7-point difference between a common and an epic part. If you have 500 health points, it's not going to add up to a shit ton, because you got to think that we're going to have a cooldown for these moves, right? Like Icetoad even just said, it's like it's a different button to attack with your claws compared to your weapon. So at some point you have to take into consideration the fact that the divinity is going to have a limited return. It's a point of diminishing returns, right? So like
And the perfect thing is,
do you want to get 1-2D, or do you want to get possibly 3-0Ds and stack up those machines?
you can either have a 0-0-2, but you can have 3 epic parts, or an epic part and 2 rare parts, right? Because you got to think, like, say if I have divine horns and I use that attack, and I won't be able to use it for a while because it has to regenerate. But if I'm a 0-0 and I have an epic and say 2 rares, and I have epic fangs and I use that, and then I turn around and I have rare claws, I can use that as well.
Right. You have a lot of strong parts.
100% speculating, but I'm going to take a guess that I'm going to speculate right now that using any part of your already given abilities like your claws, your fangs, your wings, your tail. I'm guessing that's going to probably be one cooldown, man, because then you'd be too OP, right?
Would.
Yeah, that's
It might be.
good
That's
idea.
a good. That's also a good speculation right there too.
You gotta. They'd also said game controllers are a thing, so like you gotta think game controllers only have what, like 8 buttons.
12.
12. Okay, thank you. I guess yeah. It was, but so you only like how many actual buttons can you have assigned to each individual mode?
It might be a different combinations, like in Mortal Kombat, like left triangle or left circle.
Do just a move?
Just like
Do a standard
at
move
the same time.
Maybe, I don't know, dude. This like it's speculation,
Yeah, for sure. Just so you all know, there is a. You're cutting out, man. I can't hear you.
Go ahead, Vita.
Oh, I got to get going here. I've got some family in town, so I actually need to get off. I was just gonna say I am also looking at floor ones as well, just with rare and epic parts. Maybe I shouldn't say this, because it gives people competitive edge. But there is a Keymaster that has 2 rare parts and an epic part that is on sale for 0.38 right now, $400.
That's a steal. Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah,
because now that we know what we know.
The only thing I would suggest is at least getting one Prime with 1D, so that way you can get access to the 1D room.
The 1D room, exactly.
Yeah, you want to come see us when we stream live from the moon room, so you better get that 1D.
Yeah, as long as you got that, the rest can be zeros, I think.
Yeah, that Keymaster's sick, bro.
I need a Keymaster. I need an Arcane. Is it Arcane? I need an Arcane Keymaster.
She's death.
What number is it?
Yeah, it has Arcane. 2107.
I need an Arcane Essence Keymaster.
Arcane.
Hey, maybe pull it up on Prime Time.
Yeah, we'll pull it up later, maybe.
Arcane Wings. Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
All right, V, if you got to get going, man, you want to say any parting words for us?
No, thanks everybody for joining this morning. Thank you to the Prime Minds for the time. Of course, it's always a pleasure to get to do this on Saturdays. So, yeah, I think just to the community, just reiterate a little bit of patience is a good thing. We're in this for the long term, so let's not forget that, and let's have a good week.
Amen, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Vita.
Thank you, Vita.
Later on, everybody.
Man, I'm fired up all over again from that combo with Icetoad. Just knowing all of what they're putting into the game, and we've said it a million times. Like the success of this whole project is really just how good the game is.
Right.
So every time I talk to him, I'm fired up again. I'm bullish all over again. I'm going to look at the floor. I'll give Vita some time to grab that one he was talking about. But that one seems good.
That's a nice one actually, and it's floor. So
the other part of the divinities and the purities, I think just divinities specifically, is the rarity of them. And I know I've seen a chart before that kind of showed how many divinities, how it's been dispersed throughout all the Prime Eternals.
Right.
The other reason why I would like divinities, because if this game moons like I think it will, and it becomes like a historic game that's played for decades, like Johnny C said, and how I think it's going to be.
Right.
It's just going to be a flex to hold each and every single divine part that's never created again. That's the part, right?
It's like that rare holographic Pokemon card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. And then we see that it does something in the arena, right? So just like Icetoad said, it could have been, hey, it does absolutely nothing. But now we know the more rare and the more divine part you get, or the divine part, it's stronger in the arena. It's stronger in the arena, but then it can be used outside of the arena for shit we don't even know about yet, right? So this is just the beginning.
Right.
So when it comes to me, I kind of like, and I said this before, I kind of like some cool shit. I kind of like rare shit. And I might be messing myself up, but I still look for at least 1D, 2Ds. I'm in the market for a 3D still. I don't have one yet. But the market tanks or stays this low and the 3D becomes available. I'm not kept up with our PE market, but I think those are becoming more rare.
But they're really rare. Really. Yeah. I think maybe one for sale. And if it's for sale, it's for multiple E. It's more in the 5 ETH.
Damn. right?
Yeah.
But ethers went down. But still, it's like nobody's letting those go. And I think
Right.
because in the future of this game, those divine parts are going to be super rare, just to even come around. You know, what do we have an idea of how many divine parts there are, or how many 3Ds there are?
Yeah, we
And
had God, there was something earlier in the community where there's only about 186 or something 3Ds.
that's so
There's
low, man.
Yeah, there's 1800, about 1800 D1s, one D5, 13 D4s.
Wow. Yeah, and those go. I think those go super high.
Yeah.
So having one of those is just a straight up flex. You will be so if you say for instance you have the D4, like almost and that D5, all of your attacks are going to be stronger. So I can see how that does come into play, and you will win a lot.
Well, it depends. Like they said, they're going to balance the game out. Like something interesting ZMax said is like, say if you use that one divine part, right? Then it might recycle the whole bar for everything. Like you won't be able to use any of your other D5 special, Titan of the Fury of the Titan or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because then that would definitely be OP. Like if we faced Ash and Ash just beats the shit out of us because he has a 5D, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of balancing in that part as well.
The more D you use, you lose some of your energy burn.
Yeah.
For the other attacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Mortal Kombat, you got to build up your meter right before you could do your fatality.
Yep. All right. Yeah. I mean, that gives me a lot to think about. Whether I'm looking for the divinities or whether I'm trying to look and get the floor. But we can get more into that, when we talk about the overall market. But first, yeah, that's a lot of alpha. I think I'm going to review everything Icetoad said and think about it more, but I'm super bullish on that.
And we got that coming up pretty soon, too.
There's been some other news, man. It's like we're creeping up on the date. Everybody asked. I think everybody asked those two questions. What does Divinity and Purity do? We kind of got some answers. We got a baseline. Then everybody's asking, when pets? We got the date. What is this? Today's July 2nd. 7/6/22.
5 days.
4 days away. My math is correct.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was thinking 7.
4 days.
Quick math.
What day is that, man? We should do a fucking Twitter Spaces on the pet drop day.
What day is that? That's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, guys. Fucking take some personal time off of work. Let's do some Twitter Spaces that evening.
Yeah,
let's see what our damn pet.
We finally got our Prime Minds mic, right, Buns? We can run Twitter
Spaces. Yeah, we can do Twitter Space. Finally, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think because we got 100 followers.
Might be.
Yeah. People needed to share and follow faster, but that's all right. Now we can do some Twitter Spaces. With the pets, we got some alpha there. I don't know if we talked. I think this happened after our last show. We can get as much as 3 pets if you bought early and held on until now.
Exactly.
Each Prime can give you as much as 3 pets.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the pets? Yeah, which ones are available? What kind of alpha did we get?
Yeah, so I've got them in a slideshow. The first one's Papyrus? The cat?
Mm-hmm.
The cat. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, they've got some, on the codex, they've got someone put up a description of each one, and it's kind of all detailed out there. So.
Oh, it's a big pet. A big pet cat. It looks like a damn panther.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, the codex is amazing. Shout out to the codex, man. Everybody, Gonzaga, the team making the codex.
Yeah,
used to be Pet of the Titans.
Yeah, I think Blitz did a lot of work, and even Ryder Ryan has been putting in some time on it too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the big blue cat. We already have the Cramster.
Yeah, Cramster's next
as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Geckoid.
Yep. Geckoid. I'm kind of curious about the Geckoid on a stick. That's always stuck with me ever since the beginning. Just looking at this 3-eyed creature.
Maybe you just fry their babies or something. I don't know, dude. Because that's a big Geckoid to put on a stick.
Maybe it's just the tails.
The ones that don't win, you gotta eat them.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. in the mini games.
Man, I love the summon that. And I'm sorry, I'm not watching the damn stream.
Oh, that's okay.
So
Yeah,
if we're going through them. It's called the Summonat, the little French bulldog, the purple one.
Yeah.
The boy looks fierce.
Someone asked, do the pets also have differing rarity? From what they put out, they're gonna have different house alignments. And Gonzaga, please correct me if I'm wrong. They will be able to add maybe a small boost to our champions.
Yeah, they were talking. They haven't locked that in yet on Discord. They're just saying that they're playing around with the idea to do that, which sounds cool, you know. So like if your pet has an alignment with death and your champion is also aligned with death, then it might do some kind of thing for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you got to match it up.
Maybe, and this is what we kind of speculated about, right? Like mining and stuff, like having our land with different natural resources. For instance, what if the Cramster is a digger and is able to dig in the mountain and bring out your resources that way? That could be
they have passive generation things.
Yes, there you go. That's what we're talking about, passive generation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
that'd be interesting.
So with the rebird and have it deliver drinks for you. You know, flying drinks through the air, increase your income.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that. If you're like a blacksmith or something and you want a lot of metal, and maybe the crab can dig down and bring you some. You know, I could see someone owning like an entire army of crabs to generate that metal for them. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always go out into the Bay of Messina and salvage the wrecked ships out there.
For loot.
Yep.
So the pets are going to have a personality trait. They're going to have a house allegiance, favorite champion, family, favorite toy, and favorite food.
Favorite toy? That's hilarious.
I wonder if they're going to have happiness levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's going to be like old school Tamagotchi, where you got to keep them fed and happy, take them out for a walk so they don't, you know, leave piles all over your porch.
I failed terribly at
I
those
hope
games,
there's
bro.
some
My pet...
kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Mine's always died. Because they were like...
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. I hope there's some kind of way that you don't have to micromanage everything. Like, because I'm going to have like, what, 20 or 30... 42 pets or something like that.
I
can't go and log in and feed them all one by one.
And they're all gonna die. And this is like, oh, this is great.
Well, then you also got to take into consideration sometimes people go on breaks too, right? That'd be stupid if you wanted to take like a month break from playing and come back and all your pets are dead. Especially if you paid money for them. You know,
like your pets are just dead on the floor.
From what they told us, then it's like your pet has a certain essence it should match, and it has a favorite champion. And so if we're getting them randomly dropped, like, you know, I guess you're lucky when a champion that you're holding, and then that pet's, you know, it is that pet's favorite family, right? It's favorite champion family, like that's the one he likes the best. And then they have the matching essence, right? It's almost like it's almost like an extension of the purity. So does that pet match up with the exact one that you're holding?
This is just speculation, but maybe a good strategy were to be right now, if you're thinking about buying a Prime Eternal, and this is not financial advice, maybe look for different families. Doesn't really matter about the divinity, the rarity, because once again, we don't know what type of boosts these pets are going to give our champion and how valuable they're going to be to the champion.
And then matching them up is important. So like homies like us, like the 5 Prime Minds, it's like, oh shit, Dip, you got the one that matches my family, and I got the one that matches your family. Maybe we make a swap or work that out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, but you also got to think with them having that much different traits and different abilities and there's 12 different families, right? So that's going to be a huge range of pets that you can have. So that kind of gives me the thought process that there may be breeding for pets as well.
Right. And there's going to be more pets to be released because they're only releasing 5.
Yeah.
The Pyros, the Cramster, the Gecko, the Summonat, and the Ziva. Oh shit, we forgot to ask Iso how to pronounce it, but I think you're right, Mac. I think it's Ziva. Shiva. All right, whatever. And that's if you get 3 Damn, I wanted to ask Icetoad that. I want to ask Icetoad a lot of shit and didn't get to. But if you get 3 of them, that means you have one of them is the Ziva. That means you bought early and you helped.
Yeah, you bought. That's one of the early perks. I'm gonna be getting a couple Zivas, so I can't wait to get them and see. Like, I don't know, are they gonna be different from other pets? I mean, the rarity, or, are they gonna be able to mine a special resource that the other pets can't do, or?
It could just be stunting that you're holding them, but I'm thinking, I'm wondering, however pets generate in the world, if we catch them out in the land in Messina, or if we buy them, or if we win them somehow, or if we make them and breed them, however they generate, I'm wondering, will we see more Zivas then, or is this just it?
No, they won't.
No, I
They
think.
said the rare won't be minted again. I'm sorry, Buns.
Oh yeah, I was agreeing with you basically that the Zivas are limited mint. Like this is the only ones that are released. That's.
And then if we breed, can we get our Zivas together and breed another Ziva? Or if we I don't know, but I guess we don't know if we can breed them yet.
We don't know about breeding yet.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
we don't know about breeding at all. That was just pure speculation. But
Yeah.
I mean, we also got to consider the fact that they've already said that they're going to be willing to do. We talking about earlier live ops where they are willing to essentially, when something's happening in the real world, they're repping it in Champions Ascension. So Halloween comes around, they're going to have Halloween themed stuff. Christmas comes around, they'll have Christmas themed stuff. They've already said that the Shiva is the for the Festival of Summer. So they, even though they may not release these exact Shivas again in the future, they may have
nice.
an iteration on them every year.
Like a different look or different texture or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we're right in the middle of the summer too, and we're getting the Shiva dropped. This is cool, man. I love it. I love these pets. These pets are coming. I wonder, right in the damn middle of the bear market, we're getting a lot of hype around the pets, around our drops. Dip mentioned his hoodie came in.
Yeah.
The hoodie came. Tell us about the hoodie, man. Right in the middle of the summer too.
Yeah, it came. Open it, very good quality. Like, honestly, like, it's like something like we have stores here called Express. Like those high end stores. Like it's like a sweat. And, it's like something that came out of Express.
It's a little trendy. It's cool. It's for the cool kids.
Yeah, bro. I'm glad I got an extra 2X though, because a 2X fits like an extra large. Like it's, it's more of a, like, how do you say, a hipsters?
Fitted
like where,
hipster.
Fitted hipster. I like it though, bro. I dig it. I'm like, man, dude, I would wear this going out to eat, like going to Outback Steakhouse, or like, it's a nice sweater, bro. So
fancy.
Yeah, double stitched. Doesn't look like it's gonna shrink when you wash it, man. Like, I like it.
Damn. Oh man, we need our Prime Mind hoodies. I want the Prime Mind hoodies just like that.
Wait, sorry, boy. I love that Outback Steakhouse is a high class restaurant, right? Throw some shrimp on the barbie.
Hey, baby. Hey, we're in a bear market here,
man, bro. I stopped at Texas Roadhouse. I don't even get the Outback.
We ain't going to Fleming Steakhouse no more. We got Outback.
I do the cookout, man. I buy the fajitas, put them on the grill.
Guys, that's another great thing Icetoad put out. I don't know if you guys heard it. He was like, you guys were talking about something about like you wouldn't want staking right now in this type of market. Like, I was like, a lot of us were trying to say, it's good that they're pushing this back, because we don't want a coin to come out in this type of market. Because honestly, I've seen coins like, and I lost my shirt on this, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. Strong coin went from $200-$300 a coin. Now it's sitting at $2.80, 70 cents a coin.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah. I don't want our Messina coin to go like that. So
exactly.
I'm good with waiting.
On the flip side, though, like, we don't want to wait too long, right? Because bear markets are where big moves are made, right? People, if we can come out with Messina coming out and being a fair price, even if it was to come out relatively soon, it might be to our advantage not to wait too long, because you can still get the people who do have some liquidity to invest when the market's down, right? Because that's when people actually make a lot of money, is by investing when the market's down.
I think we'll have to have some type of utility I would rather have some type of utility like gameplay and stuff out first, because then it it backs the coin a little better. Be like, okay, well, yeah, I actually want this now because I want to play this game.
He mentioned it again, and I don't know if we knew the timeline, but he said this fall, right? Like I caught that real quick. He was like, "Yep, when the fighting, when the alpha fighting comes out this fall." So we're looking at what is July, August, September, October, a few months from now.
Yeah.
Sounds like right before the Halloween of the new release of the new Elementals. Hopefully, right? We didn't ask that detail. Is it before the Elemental drop or is it after the Elemental drop? We said before it should definitely be before the Elemental drop, so we can build some of the demand.
It has to be. It has to be, because otherwise we're not gonna. If we have alpha gameplay to be able to market, then we will have something like I was speculating previously of like a 50,000 Elemental mint, because then we'll have people. We'll be able to market it to enough people to be able to justify having that big of a mint, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was in another program another project for Batman NFT cows, and they were trying to mint 200,000 of them.
Dang.
At a fiat $300 price, right? And I think they minted something like 2,000 or 3,000 of them, and that's it, because they did so little marketing and they had no utility. Whereas if we have the alpha gameplay for play and earn game out there, and obviously Jam City and Champions Ascension has already shown that they can get 100,000 people in the Discord. It's just about bringing that kind of community engagement back, and I really think if they market it to actual gamers rather than just to NFT people, then we have the ability and the possibility to be able to bring in a big enough draw to fill a $50,000 mint, especially if they're going to make it.
Because right now it's still just an idea.
Credit cards. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's not real yet.
They're going to introduce.
Oh, you guys trying to talk.
Sorry.
No, I want to reiterate that point, man. Marketing to gamers, and what Z-Magan said was the utility. The utility is when you buy in and you get an NFT, you're buying the game in a sense, right? You get to play the game, not even thinking about the money and the coin you can generate, but the utility right off the bat when the game starts is you're buying into this and you get to play this game. That's the utility,
right?
And marketing that to gamers that might be coming into the NFT space, I think that's where the key is.
Yeah,
Mac, I think you hit that right in the head.
And that's kind of what I've been thinking about the last week or so. You know, when I've been seeing comments about, just dropping Prime Eternals to so-called influencers with hundreds of thousands of members that basically copy and paste the same response to the other Twitter account, and people thinking that we need to get more NFT investors into the project and things like that. I think that's all stupid. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm not saying like I think that like I believe the one of
maybe
the
some pro gamers will be the better influencers.
Yeah, because it's like
pro gamers are. Yeah,
that's where the money's going to come from. It's not going to be about your NFT. It's not going to be about I can sell this for 10 ETH or whatever. It's going to be about the passive generation of income through the gameplay. And they're going to bring in like millions of people, which equates to like millions or billions of dollars. And so, getting an extra 1,000 NFT, holders into the project isn't going to do shit,
Right.
And that's the thing too, is I think that the best proposal for them to go forward with the Elemental Mint is like what you're saying. You propose it to gamers as you are essentially buying an Elemental, which means you are buying a game. Right? Your Elemental is essentially your game, which is why I've speculated that'll be somewhere around a $50 to $70 fiat price. Right. And when you market it to them like that, you're not marketing to NFT investors that you're going to be able to take this $50 or $70 and flip it in 2 months and sell it for $1,500. Because that's not what the proposal needs to be to make this a million player game. You need
if
to
you're
be able
marketing
to
to gamers, they're not going to say, "Hey, when Moon and where's the PFP?" And they're not going to ask all these NFT questions, right? That we ask.
Exactly.
They're going to want to play a game.
Exactly. And the biggest thing is we have 7622. So this is my thinking, and it's purely speculation. the elemental drop has to be more than 7622 because ours is the rarest. This is just for me thinking. Now, would I want that to go to a bunch of NFT investors? Probably not, because most of the time they're just going to try to sell for a profit. And that's just how the culture is built in the NFT space, right? You get 0.1 or 0.2 profit and you sell it and you don't care. We're really trying to reach to the people who care, like the ones that, play League of Legends, the ones that play World of Warcraft, the people that play Call of Duties and Halos. We want those people. Because ultimately, they're not going to keep trying. They're not going to be wanting or motivated to take money out of the game. They're going to want to be putting money in the game, as far as buying elementals, buying skins, buying gear, right? And that's the biggest concern some of our members have had about the scholarship program, whereas you're going to get people in the scholarship program just doing it for the money. And they're going to be cashing out this stuff all the time, which could affect our economy because it could affect the coin. Now, in order to, better protect that, we got to, I feel, this is my feeling, that you have to surround it with gamers because people are going to game. If the game is good, gamers are going to flock.
I would say that's step one of this idea, because I think down the road, it's going to be casual gamers. It's going to be not just the ones that want to get into the Coliseum and battle it out. It's going to be the ones that want to go feed their pet and buy them some sunglasses.
Or do some farming the land, right?
Yeah,
walking around Messina, finding loot, like stuff like that.
Playing little mini games that has nothing to do with anything, but they need that coin, or they need that. They need to buy stuff from us in order to play or.
Well, that's the thing too, is for Jam City to make this a lucrative game for them, based on what they've said, with them not really pushing out a lot of other things and then want it to be an actual in-game economy, they need microtransactions to make money.
There you go.
Right? Mm-hmm. To be able to do that, they need a large player base of people who are actually playing the game, not just people who are looking to come in for the scholarships and earn money.
Right.
I mean, those people are gonna do some microtransactions because they're gonna earn money, then they're gonna spend that money to get better gear so they can earn more money by playing, right? Mm-hmm. But once they reach that point, they're not gonna be spending any more money at all. And a good person who's running the scholarships will be the one that has the prime, that's getting those tokens, that's going to actually invest in that for them, right? So that way their scholars can be out there earning the max amount of money for them. So that scholarship is not a long-term sustainable revenue generator for Jam City itself either. So,
well, and the other thing
in the long run,
is this
getting more people in that are casual gamers benefits us and Jam City more.
And just to also throw out another idea is that this is just this one project that we're talking about. Like everything we're talking about and everything we're speculating, all of these different revenue avenues of revenue is only Jam City and only Champions Ascension. And they said that they want to extend a hand of invitation to other projects and have a DAO where we can be bringing in people from other projects and maybe they're earning things in their projects, but they can come into our game and spend it in our game, or purchase something from us in order to spend in their game. And so I think
I like the partnerships. More the merrier.
Yeah.
So I think we're just looking at the tip of the iceberg, and I think this is going to be huge.
Yeah, definitely. And my thing is, I'm really interested to see what they do with the marketing in the next couple months, because the Elemental Mint is going to be coming up around, they said around, October 31st, around that time. And it's going to be interesting to how many elementals they're going to release to be minted. That's what I'm going to be looking at, and how much they're going to be. And the biggest thing is the crowd, the audience,
Yeah, who are they marketing to?
Yeah.
Marketing to us, because we already want them, Jam City. We want them.
we
don't
do.
gotta market to us.
You can say right. There's how many holders? 7622. Some are selling, but a lot of people are still bought into the project.
2,200 holders right now. Yeah.
Oh, 22. Okay, 2,200 holders. Yeah, let's put it that way. So you're probably gonna sell 2,200 of them. Now you got to add about 48,000 more. You know what I'm saying?
Did that 50K
or 98,000 more customers. We're built in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab at least one, maybe a Fire Wings.
Yeah, definitely.
But with that said, too, it's like we also, and we brought this up with Prime Minds, even though we don't come, all the time with you, we talk, we talk amongst ourselves a lot, but we talked about, is it worth grabbing a few elementals, but where's the floor at right now for the Prime Eternals, right? Why not just throw $400 up and grab another Prime Eternal? I think that's where I'm at right now.
I think they're
I
going to
might as
be
well get one
cheap.
that's generating.
I really think the elementals are going to be $50 to $75.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mackin said.
I agree. Or even lower, dude. It could possibly even be lower too.
Yeah.
Because you got to think,
how much does a game cost these days? Like $60?
$65.
$60 to $70.
Yeah.
But you also got to think
like
they want to make it so that people can come in and possibly breed too, right? So like if you're talking, it's going to cost $150 to be able to get 2 champions to breed. That might be too high of a barrier point for some people.
I don't know.
But if you
I bought a $300 package for another game, like just how you can pre-purchase to support the game, like on whatchamacallit?
Kickstarter.
I mean, I've spent up to
$300. You're Big Daddy Money, Bunzaga. You're Big Daddy Money bags, bro. Like we don't got it like you.
No, I'm just mean like gamers are, they're willing to spend money on
exactly.
On the game they believe in.
Gamers aren't going to be the guys that are going to go to the bar and drop $300. They're going to go home and they're going to drop $300 on their game. That's the crowd we want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'd rather even a higher price point. Like the more the elementals are, obviously the more the PEs will be, right? 70 and all that's good, but shit, if we can create a great demand and they're at $200 for an elemental, even better. It's about creating that damn
that's
demand.
That's going to be the market, dude. That's going to be the market after the mint, right? They're going to do mint, so that's cheap entry point. But after that, I'm not sure if they're going to do another mint, man. And the market is going to be 100% driver of the cost. So
we just got to make sure we have at least a bunch of people that will be able to mint these.
The world needs to know about it.
The world needs to know. And honestly, with the custodial wallets, man, that's why I'm saying we don't need to go to the NFT. We don't need to do the NFT industry, bro. With those custodial wallets and reaching out to the masses, let's go to gaming conventions. Let's go to the gaming convention in Las Vegas. Let's talk to guys over there. Let's connect with people over there, right? Like, just do different things like that. And that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, man, there's so many gaming conventions, and I know so many gamers online that are always looking for new games. Always.
Wait, when's the gaming convention in Vegas? Because I know the Prime Minds Alpha, we're thinking about doing a meetup in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
When is that? Is it coming up?
We talked about it briefly. I was a little drunk when we did.
No, I'm saying the gaming convention. Maybe we do it then.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, bro. And I think that's the best place to get it out.
Hell yeah.
It's Global Gaming Expo.
That was October
10th.
Yep. Because you got to think, bro. You're telling a gamer, we're telling gamers, hey, you will actually own this. When a new game comes out, you're never going to lose it. And guess what? You could be able to trade it with other people, or you can sell it. It's not worthless.
And
gamers
awesome.
are going to love that.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree. They're going to totally love it. They're going to be like, how much?
I can't sell none of my Fortnite skins, right? Like, I have so many freaking Fortnite skins that I buy and little weapons and all this, but I can't trade them. I can't let someone else use them. If there's a game that lets me do that, like, that's next level.
That's sweet, man. Right.
You will actually own the item.
Right.
So CEA should definitely have a presence in this Las Vegas gaming convention. Unfortunately, I cannot make it because October will be busy for me. But then after that, there's gonna be a big Prime Minds meetup in Vegas too, and that's just inside stuff. Yeah,
maybe we could do it on during the Elemental Mint. I threw that idea out there that we should have a party for it, But
yeah, I like that.
We need to know what date it is.
Yeah, if we find a date and a neutral place to meet up.
Mm-hmm. Vegas, it is, bro. Nevada.
And we'll have our Prime Minds
sweatshirt. You get a ballroom or a boardroom or some kind of convention room at a hotel in Vegas for the Elemental Mint. Whoo!
I'll be there.
More than just a Prime Minds can show up, right? I'd be there.
I'll be in Vegas.
I get $150 to $200 flights to Vegas round trip. Still, right?
And it's cheaper in the winter, right? Everybody's going right now to Vegas because of the summer, but in the winter, bro, Yeah.
We'll go.
Yeah.
I like November. We'll talk about it. Yeah. So there it is. I mean, I'm going to look. So when it comes to this market, I'm gonna drop y'all the way my mind works. A little bit of alpha here, but looking at the CA floor, when ETH drops, those PEs they get a lot lower in like straight when you translate it to fiat, right? Mm-hmm. So I've not bought in the last month or so. I think my last PE I bought was maybe a month or 6 weeks ago. I would be buying in a little bit, little by little, but I'm waiting for an ETH bottom. Dip, our in-house not financial advice guy. What are you thinking about when it comes to ETH, Bitcoin overall market? Looking at a bottom. What's your update right now on that?
We're definitely going to hit a bottom, and I think it's going to come in July. This is purely speculation and not financial advice. But as you see it right now, it's hovering a little bit over $1,000. It rejected 1250 multiple times, guys. When you see price actions 12, 11 getting rejected like that over and over again, that's a bearish sentiment. That means it's going to go lower. Now, the Fed is going to announce another rate hike this month. So the thing is, you look at all the news and everybody's like, oh, recession. Everybody's kind of hinting that out in the news, right? They're getting us ready for it because it's going to happen. It's going to come. They're getting us ready because you see all these little news and they're saying it here and there. And then the Fed is in Atlanta is saying stuff. If they do another 0.75 BPS rate hike, that's in the 2 months. That's 150 BPS. That will definitely put us in a recession. If not, we're already in a recession because we have no second quarter growth.
Yeah.
None. Zero. So like if you want to unofficially, we are in a recession right now. We're in the beginning stages. Now, once they raise that rate, that's just going to be like tipping the bowl over. And you're going to see, like I said, you guys, if you guys see it break 900, wait for 600. And be patient. Don't just buy 600 when you see it. Watch and see if it rejects.
Gonzaga, we hear on your mic, just so you know.
Oh, but I muted it so they the stream didn't hear it, but you guys did. Sorry about that.
Never mind, my bad.
So watch these price actions, right? If 6 gets rejected, we're going to 3, straight up. Oof. But wait, if you want to buy a couple at 6, do it, but don't load the boat at 6 because honestly, every trader will tell you this. You can never call the bottom and you'll never know what the bottom is. You could think 900 is the bottom, but then 300 ends up being the bottom, right? So if you do that, scale in, like I said, buy 1 or 2 at 600. If it goes down to 500, buy 1. If it goes down to 300, buy a couple more and watch it. Watch as it consolidates because wherever it consolidates, and it's going to consolidate for a month or two. So it's not like, is it going to consolidate for a day or two? No. Once it reaches bottom, it's going to consolidate for months.
Because I think it hit 800 for what, maybe 2 or 3 days? I'm talking about ETH.
Right.
8 something.
Yeah, we're talking about ETH. Right. Now, once we see that 600, I would love to see 600 for a couple months or a month. And then that'll tell me that's bottom.
It'll look like a bottom. Yeah. And I think what we also have to do, just like you said, is look at the interest rate. Are they going to be done? So the reason why they're increasing the interest rate, the Fed, is because they want to fight inflation. And so has inflation stopped or slowed down? Do you think they're done increasing the interest rate? Inflation is at more of a manageable level. The demand of goods and services out there in the economy is slowing down enough to decrease the inflation. And then that, which they're kind of spurring on the recession so that demand decreases, right? And that's what will get inflation in check. Once we see that start to be in check and it kind of goes sideways for a little bit, that might be when the bottom sets in, no matter, where it's at. And then we might start creeping up from there.
Right. And this is all speculation to news. Like say something happens with Ukraine. Say Russia puts another sanction on us, right? Because they put sanctions on oil for us. Any of this stuff could, make
the
us
whole
go down.
economy.
Yeah. So you guys want to just be very careful, manage your risk, and watch. Don't ape into something. Please don't. Because you're going to ape into something, and then what they say, I bought the dip, and it keeps on dipping. That's what's going to happen. So just be very careful on how you get into these things because, like I said, the Fed, and they're already throwing stuff out there. If you look at the news, recession, you're seeing that word a lot now.
Yeah.
They're preparing us for a recession, and the recession can last 18 to 24 months.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd agree with you, Dip. I think that so just for people, just a small piece of it, financial information for people out there. What Dip is talking about is the Fed basis points. When they raise it by 75 basis points, they're raising it by the interest rate by 0.75%, and that's the prime interest rate. That's what every single creditor in the United States bases their interest rate off of. They always go prime plus. So right now, Fed interest rate is like 1.5 to 1.75%, which would be 175 basis points at the high end. So if they raise interest rates again next month by another 75 basis points, that's going to put prime interest rate at 2.5%, which means the Fed charges creditors 2.5%. So then the creditors automatically include that in your interest rate, and it's prime plus, so that plus is the interest rate that they are charging you to make money for themselves, right? So when we're talking mortgages right now being 5.5%, before they announced the last rate hike, that meant they were doing at when the prime rate was about 1%, they were doing prime plus 4.5%. So if your prime interest rate goes up to 2.5% and they're doing prime plus 4.5%, that means mortgage rates are going to go up to 7%.
Yeah.
And everything else goes up. That's an adjustable APR.
Yep.
Anything that has a fixed APR stays the same. Adjustable rates change based on prime, though. And what that does is they're trying to obviously fight inflation, but we've had inflation at over, I think it's 4.6% inflation for more than a year right now, which those metrics alone we should have been in recession a while ago, right? So when you take that into consideration, the fact that we haven't been actually trying to combat inflation while it's been rampant for the last 8 months, the Fed's way behind the game. What their late actions are gonna do is they're essentially gonna tank the economy for a couple months.
Yeah.
And they're talking about this recession possibly lasting up to 2 years. So when Dip says, don't look at fucking 900 and think that's the bottom, then it goes to 600, then goes down to 300, like, you're down dollar cost averaging if you want to invest, but remember, like, we are on the cusp of going into a recession. That's probably going to be a long-term recession, and we're talking, interest rates could possibly go up to 10% for mortgages, things like that.
Damn.
Right?
A lot of people are going to lose their houses if that happens, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if they have the adjustable rate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't done that, but it's going to stop people from wanting to buy new houses, which slows all that does.
We're looking to slow the demand
slows the
down.
economy.
Slow the economy down.
It does.
So
100%.
demand starts being so high. So prices start leveling off. And I don't think they'll drop, right? But leveling off, the inflation stops climbing is what we're looking for. So we're looking for it. So in a sense, like they're kind of looking to spur they'll never say it, but they want to cause some sort of a recession, right? That's what that is.
So they can get them
stopping, slowing the economy down, to slow the inflation down. So that's what we're looking for. And I think Dippy said one key thing is you don't have to rush to buy the bottom neither. It's going to be in the bottom for a while. It'll be there. It'll be there when you see it. So you don't have to rush there neither. You do some DCA on the ETH, and then that's how you look to enter in slowly.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely know.
And I'm a little bit more bearish than you did, but I personally think ETH's probably going to go down to like 150, 200.
I say 186, the lowest. But I'm just like, I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Y'all are calling it. Oh my God. That is low.
And when I think it was ETH was at 2,300. And I was like, man, this shit's gonna go down to 900. And everybody's, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, that shocked me.
Yeah.
You shocked me when you said it, and then it happened. I'm like, whoa, we're at 870, 860.
Yeah. It could happen. So 186 can happen. We don't know. That's the biggest thing. We don't know.
And then but also like the value of our primes, like I think like we've been done an okay job at adjusting the price of the ETH, but I think there's some opportunity there when it first starts dropping to get some of the prime eternals at a discount. But I think as time goes on and ETH goes lower and lower, I think the strength of our project means that the prime eternals value will go up in ETH. You know, so
yeah, definitely,
it might be a good hedge.
I think
100%.
a lot of people are gonna panic, and fear is gonna set in, and some people will sell their primes for. If ETH's at 186, some people are gonna sell their primes for $50. That's a great opportunity for us.
Damn.
For like 0.4, right?
I'll be buying like crazy then.
That's what I'm saying.
I doubt. I mean, you got to think. Okay, so primes when we minted, if you got it at mint or whitelist price, bought it for 0.3, and let's say you buy your ETH at 300, right? $900, right?
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt people are going to be willing to take more than 60 or 70% loss.
Bro, there's people that are gonna. You'll be shocked. There's people that are gonna take 90 to 95% losses.
Really?
Yes, bro. People when this stuff happens, because this is my third recession that I've been doing it.
Yeah.
People will buy, something like say a stock for $114 and they'll sell that shit at 79 cents. Just to get their just to get something, because people panic. And when people panic, they do not think, bro. They just it's chaos.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring the panic on. I'm gonna buy some.
Right?
Yeah.
That or they do some shit where they're just trying to offset their gains elsewhere because those are losses. So
yeah,
maybe that. Bro, some people think about that, but some people I think like Dip said, they're just trying to get out before they have zero.
Right.
So I think at those ETH dips, like those big ones, if we go from like 900 to 600, then we're gonna probably find some good deals.
Oh yeah.
When we go from 600 to 300, find good deals again.
You're gonna find ridiculous, and I honestly think there will be some 3Ds that are gonna be able to be coming up on those too.
Yeah, they're like, F it, I'm gonna cash out these 3D. ETH is dropping. I need to cash out this 3D before it goes to zero, and then there it is. Time to pick it up.
Dad picked it up for $25.
Ash, whenever you're willing to sell that Prime, that 5D for $250, message me first, bro.
Hit me up.
Hit me up.
My DMs
Let's go
are
there,
open.
man. Do we have a sponsor? Let's get to some prime time.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Prime
prime
time.
time. But of course, first, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Prime Time is brought to you by founding guild The Pack. Got a long week at the forge ahead? Struggling with how you'll fit in a good meal before rushing off to see the night games at the arena? Or do you simply want to take your own food to avoid Coliseum upcharges? Well, this week at the Pizza Den, when you purchase an extra large one-topping pizza, you'll receive a free pack of beer. To receive this sale, simply state the phrase, "Once you're in the pack, we'll always have your back." Offer valid to all residents of Messina. Current The Pack Guild ID guarantees priority line access and 20% essence discount. Pizzas can be made with or without pineapple or select Peacemaker for a half and half pizza.
And we're back. Vita actually came in again, gave us that sponsorship. Shout out to the pack, man. Look, I miss you guys in Discord. We got to have some of the members of the pack back on. Ash, let's talk, man. I think we're gonna take a look in honor of the pack when it comes to the prime time. Do y'all want to throw this 5D up? We got 5D in all Champions Ascension.
I want to see this dude's prime.
Let's take a look, man. It's like it's been long enough. Without further ado, let's bring up the one and the only 5D for prime time. What's the number?
I think it's 1898.
All right, give me one.
1898.
Add it to the stage here. Okay. 18.
Take a look at the prime. And I know he's the Fenrir.
Damn.
Fenrir.
And a 3P.
And a 3P. Yeah.
And a 3P to boot. Oof, like how like oh my god, my man, this one got blessed. Death Fenrir. What, how many matching? 3P, yep. So if he's got 3P, 3 matching. Like just 3 matching divine parts by itself, like puts this man like way up ahead of the pack, right? Like very rare. And then the other two, we have a life, claws, and arcane fangs. So he's well rounded with 5Ds. He has one
Got a
life
little bit of
D,
everything in
one
him,
arcane
right?
D. Everything,
Yeah,
man. This
he's
man
got
is beautiful.
life and arcane. I think he couldn't be more blessed than this, dude. 3 divinely pure parts, and then he's got one from each of the other essences. So like,
Yeah.
Dang, those claws look badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart
They do.
Seeker claws. And you know how Icetoad was just talking about the parts might have their own like utility as far as if it's like an opener or like a defense or stun or something.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really cool. And those wings.
Yeah.
And I know Ash is an avid competitive gamer too, so you guys are gonna have to watch out for that dude, man, because he don't play.
I'm glad. I'm glad that a real gamer got this instead of someone that's just like
Yeah.
a flipper.
A flipper, exactly. I'm very glad that an actual gamer got to get one of the, I say one of the rarest prime in the game.
100%, man. Yeah, and I'm excited. I know Ash was talking earlier about streaming his battles and everything. Like I'll be a big fan. I'll watch it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about it on the
of
show.
course.
How he's fighting, how the 5D is matching up against others. Like, we might see him in the Coliseum against some of the 4Ds. Can a 3P 3D put up a fight against Ash with the 5D? Like, we'll see.
Skill based, right? And that's going to be the biggest thing. But like I said, it's not going to help us any. This guy is always like, every time I'm on Discord, he's always playing Overwatch, bro. This guy games like all the time. So imagine when this game comes out, this dude is just going to be crazy.
Right. Yeah, this one's great. Like we said, just only one 5D, got some 3P to go with it. Yeah, he's gonna be something to watch.
Let's pull up that other one.
I'm digging it.
You guys were talking about that 2107.
Oh yeah, 2107. See, these are the one. This is the one we're talking about, to where it could be a 0-0, but it has an epic and multiple rare parts, which we don't know if they each of those parts have their own meter to where they could do a special move. Because if it is, then this thing's going to be pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
This one's on the market. Let's see. Yep. It is the Keymaster. And where's the Keymaster going for? Yep, 23.8.
That's crazy. It's like the
0.38.
ultimate undivine or unpure.
Right.
It's like 5
arcane.
5 arcane.
Oh, it's
unpure. That's
with a
pretty
death
cool.
essence. Well, that makes her pretty, though, right? When you're still matching all the traits up. Well, she's a good looker anyway. I like her. I don't have a Keymaster. I'm looking for one. But yeah, when you have like all of the traits are still, they all match other. They don't match the essence, which is death.
They're all matching, which is
But
really cool.
All 5 arcane.
Bro, look at the rarity. 3%, 5%, 5%, 5%, like 2%.
Yeah. The only the things that we're actually going to be using, right, are all commons. The hairstyle's rare, the piercings epic, the claws are rare, but that's the only thing that would be, in any kind of consideration of battle mechanics. Because when I look at them for battle mechanics, I'm looking at the claws, the fangs, the horn, and the tail, right? Those are the things that are going to be parts that we can actually use. The war paint, maybe even the wings, but like the war paint, the piercing.
Or it might be spells, though. They said it might be like a certain spell that protects them from certain things.
Yeah, but that's not an active ability that's a passive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tail too. I forgot. Tails, they were talking about. I mean, I think that'd be dope if they give us the ability to fly and then swoop in and do a tail sweep on someone from the air. Whew. Like, I'm just thinking about all the different combat mechanics that we could have. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you can run around the ring, too, and come out with the tail. But this one, the Keymaster doesn't have a tail. And I wonder how that plays into the game. The ones that don't have the tails, what they're losing. Some people don't have wings, like the Ilgra, and one other one doesn't have the wings. What does that? Where's the disadvantage there?
The big boys are ground-based. 100% ground-based, so...
Yeah.
And some of these wings don't even look like they can fly. Like when we were just looking at Ash's, like his Fender with the wings on that thing, those don't look like it could support flying at all, right? There's no membrane there. It's just bones.
Maybe it's
some bones, but
it
it's
could
charged
send,
though.
send
It's
arcane,
electrical.
some kind of arcane shockwave or something.
Yeah. Well, the deal's here 2107. I mean, we talked about it, right? It's just right under $400, like right at $400 in fiat. I mean, what a steal, bro! Like to get into entering this game, PE early, something that's going to generate some Messina, something you can get some land with, coming in at $400.
50% discount. When we minted ours, it was $900.
Yeah,
right,
or more. I just
yeah.
bought the 1D Ceres a couple weeks ago, like a month or half ago, and it was $800. That's half the price of what I just got one for. And I thought I was getting a good deal, right?
Right.
So, and I literally only paid like 0.02 ETH more, and it was double the price. So
for the ETH. Yep. Yeah. I came in. My last one I picked up was a kind of close to the floor Ilgra. It was like fiat was like 570. I thought that was great. I'm like, holy shit, it's $500. Now we're like looking at 400.
Yeah, that's when I picked my Fenrir at $400.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
I just want to say one thing, boys.
I'm watching the floor. Go ahead.
And this is way off topic, but since we're looking at primes and we're checking out the prime viewers, and I'm looking at OpenSeas, I gotta say that I am, and I hate to say it after we've had such a great podcast, but I'm a little bit disappointed with the way they went about the PFP thing, because I think on OpenSeas, like, just having the PFPs is a major disadvantage compared to what we had previously, right? Like, we were talking about getting PFPs. I thought that was going to be an additional NFT that they were going to airdrop us, not that they were going to change from the dope-ass art that we had, you know, like the things that look good instead of art from other communities.
100%, but they didn't even have to airdrop us another NFT, but just give us the option to display it in that PFP view, which we have. Right. I think the only thing I think the team should really consider this is when it comes to OpenSea, go back to the original view, and then give us the option to display our Prime as a PFP. For other things, for Twitter and Discord and other. Right. Go back to regular view, like those PFPs. It's not doing this project any justice. Just like Z-Mac said.
Yeah, or before they do something that affects the whole community, maybe they should talk to the community first and get their vibe on it.
100%.
Because if they could have came to us and said, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this," and everyone said, "Hell no, we don't like that."
Well, because you got to think of it like the side picture of that. It looks like just like a PFP with no utility. Like you would just think, oh, this is just another like a board ape, just a PFP or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But when you get to see the whole body, you're like, oh shit, this is actually like a whole character.
It looks cool,
and it's hard to tell.
I like that.
The divinity is too, because like all they did was they had the little orbs in the background, right? Mm-hmm. Like what that means
you can't
nothing.
tell shit about the parts.
Nope. And they changed the colors too. So like, come on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually the original view, like I could scan through it and say, oh, you can kind of see the tail, you can see the wings, you can see the claws on a lot of them, right? You know exactly what part you're looking at, where the divinity is. You can see if it's like too divine. You can see right there. It's like, oh, it's the wings and the claws, or it's the fangs. Like you can't tell none of that shit in this PFP view for OpenSea. But my suggestion is with OpenSea, just go back to the original view. Yeah. And give us the ability, like we have right now, to change our PFP to the new PFP that you made available. Which I didn't even change mine. Like I like it, but I like my PFP right now, like the whole body of the Ilgra.
I like the side. Like when it comes to Twitter or social, like I like the side pick. That's perfect. That's actually was a great thing they did. But yeah, I agree. When it's the OpenSea, like I want to see everything. It's like when you're buying a new car, right? Like I don't want to just see the side of a car. I want to see the whole fucking car. I want to see inside. I want to see the interior. I want to see the trunk. I want to see all of it.
Yeah, it's like they're showing us the hood, right?
Yeah. And on OpenSea they move too, which makes it cool. Like it pops out.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of people that still have not discovered the project. I think that I think right now we're going into a new phase in NFTs where everybody is getting, oh, okay, we need some type of more utility. And so just the very first like the very first impression when you pull it up on OpenSea is like, damn, there's got to be some utility to these things. They're fucking moving.
Yeah.
right? There's a lot
Yeah.
of shit going on here.
They got wings. They got claws. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. There's got to be utility here. So I bet you, CA, we should actually take that to. We should try and kind of test out like a voting system. We should take to a vote what we want to display on OpenSea, and my hunch is that the vote will be to revert back to the original OpenSea, full body animated view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just a shout out to the Etheronaut and CA and some of the community members. They're actually trying to put together this like a team of people to kind of relay things between the community and the developers, and so they're doing votes. I think what they're planning to do is they're doing votes on Monday, and then the polls end on Friday, and then they can do something with those results. And so they're if you want to nominate someone, or if you have time to help with that and maybe be nominated, go for it, go apply for it. There's a channel in Discord to talk about it and stuff like that. So
Thanks for mentioning that, because I've seen that recently. I have a big mouth, man. What's the time commitment? I'm down. I'm down to talk some shit. I'm down to be one of these representatives. And I got a platform. I think I'll win the vote. They'll let me start campaigning. Buy the dip be my campaign manager. Let's get it.
There you go. I think it's good.
We'll fundraise in Messina. No, but I think to that point, real quick, I think one of the first things they should take up is this thing we're discussing right now when it comes to the PFP and the OpenSea view. But go ahead.
I think we're gonna work on talking together and try and figure out something for the delayed staking. That seems to be the biggest thing on a lot of people's mind. But I definitely think
no. Let's do
PFP
something.
will be a lot easier. This will be a lot easier to ask first.
Let's ease into it. Let's ease into the voting process. This is something, right? That's bro. That's gonna be there's gonna be some fights about that one, about the staking. This PFP is an easy thing to just go through the process and work it out one time.
And you know what? I think and for a lot of people that have invested, this might be their first bear market where some people might be over leveraged, right? Have too much invested in it, and the biggest thing is we just got to let the team do their work. Patience is everything. Wealthy guy once told me, he said, my wealth wasn't made from rash decisions. My wealth was made from patience. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's how wealth is going to be made, guys. You guys, ape into the project. You just have to wait, and it will come. It will come, because I believe the team can deliver. You have guys like Icetoad, Johnny, which they're gurus in what they do. So it's just going to take time, but you definitely will. If you have a good amount invested into this, I believe in 2 to 3 years, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm glad I was here when I was.
Same here, bro. Yep. It's just time. Guys, we had a long marathon episode. I love these. But I got to get some lunch.
Same here.
Let's wrap it up, man.
Put some tile down.
Oh shit! I had some work to do too. We'll see. Episode 14, man, in the books. One for the books. How are you feeling, man? How are you feeling today? Middle of the summer, July 2nd. I love the month of July. Gonzaga, how you feeling? The outlook of this game?
Yeah, this is Gonzaga, and I'm super, man. Every time I hear Icetoad, it just makes me excited about this game. I'm just like, hey, please let me play this. I mean, it sounds amazing. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to the Slice of Messina. Looking forward to even the Elemental Mints. I'm just here for the ride, and I'm enjoying what I'm experiencing. So
I know they're working hard, man. I'm digging it. Buy the dip. What's your take?
Man, I have a very positive outlook, bro. Like I said, I'm a very patient person. I'm a patient investor. So just to see the work and the amount of things that they're doing, it just really gives me reassurance. Now, is there going to be a couple bumps in the road? There always is. But I have confidence that this team 100% will deliver.
Right. Z-Mackin.
Hey boys, I'm just over here getting ready to go on a long backpacking trip. getting ready to be away for a little bit. Just wanted to reiterate to the community, put a word out there that I kind of took Gonzaga and Vita's advice a couple weeks ago to take a step back. I don't know if some of you guys have noticed that I haven't been quite as active in Discord. I've still been following up and keeping my thumb on the pulse of the community, just so we all know here what's going on with you guys, because we, like I've said multiple times, we want to help be the voice of the community, whether you guys see us be active or not, and you can always feel free to tag any of us. We'll get back to you, or we'll address whatever your concerns are. It may not be right away, but we'll get there. But I personally am about to go on a week-long backpacking trip, so I'm hoping next week I could be here with you boys when we have our special guest. But I may not make it. But just know that I got all you primes in my heart, no matter what. And I got this game just keeps looking more and more exciting. The more alpha they leak to us, the more excited I get to play it. Just like Gonzaga, like when can I get my hands on this alpha? I'm hoping I come back from my backpacking trip and they're releasing alpha gameplay next week. I doubt it.
You going for a week? Mac, go ahead and let us know. Announce our guest. Like when's our guest coming on? Who it is?
All right, so we had the lovely Gonzaga put out his feelers and got. He used to be called Attack on Axie. New name is rebranded to Web3 Wesley. Will be with us next week, talking NFTs, NFT communities, and he's got some Champions Ascension background. He's been in the Discord for a while, so just know that having someone come in and talk some legit shit with us next week. And I like I said, I'm hoping I'll find that one spot out on the trail that I can get some reception and join you boys.
Yeah, and with
Please
that
do,
said,
man.
I was gonna mention if anyone in the community has some questions that they want to ask him specifically, then let us know and we'll make sure to get them in.
Yep.
I was thinking about the idea of having like a Prime Mind server somewhere, or whatever we call it in Discord, for the public, so they can just throw questions in there for us and we can refer to them. But I don't know. We'll discuss that further. So yeah, we got a legit influencer coming on. I think it might be a selfish interview for me. Like, my man, how did you grow? How do you get the audience? What's the YouTube looking like? I'm gonna ask questions like that. So tune in if you're looking at doing some influencing type of thing. We'll ask some questions. We'll get some alpha, and we'll see what his take is on Champions Ascension, as he is a CA Prime Eternal holder. So I'm sure you can compare this to all the other games and Web3 space and NFT games that he's looking at and covering. So that's an exciting interview. Back to how I'm feeling, man. I'm feeling bullish. Just like Gonzaga said, every time we have a discussion with Icetoad or any of the developers, really, like, I'm reminded as to like what they're working on, what they're doing, how their work process is in the space, how they're thinking about the long-term vision, and how they're making this game correctly. It gets me even more and more bullish. Just like Max said too, it is the summertime. It's a little bit more chill. We know the devs have their heads down and working. I'm willing to sit here, take a step back, just be chill, man. Appreciate the things that you're blessed with in your life. No need to like hang on every single word in Discord and have fights and have all this stuff, man. Just chill and let it play out. That's life advice. Right? Take it if you want it. Let it happen. Give it time. Things take time every single time. Especially great things take time. So I'm gonna chill this summer. I'm waiting for the alpha gameplay. I'm waiting for the new Eternal drops. Yeah, and that's where we're at. Anything else, boys, before we go? I think one thing, Mac, you might not be able to join us, but I think I just locked us in for a Twitter Spaces when those pets drop.
Yes.
I'd imagine CA is doing something. I don't know. Shit. Well, maybe we can have a party. I don't know, but I know for sure we'll be in Twitter Spaces with our Prime Minds account on Twitter. So follow us there. We'll share it in Discord. You don't want to miss it. We'll be live. We'll just come to y'all live through Twitter Spaces. We'll talk some shit. We'll chill. And not to say these podcasts are very well structured. but Twitter Spaces will probably be all over the fucking place. Just so y'all know, it'll probably be the evening.
Yeah.
I might have a drink in my hand. You might see a different King Dav, but it'll be fun. We'll go through our pets. We'll see
we're
what
gonna
we
bring
got.
people up. Who wants to talk? Who wants to,
Hang out.
talk about their pets, hang out?
Fuck yeah, let's do it. We can make some trades there too. Like what
There you
y'all
go.
want to do. With all that said,
just so
man,
y'all-
I'm excited. Bullish.
Just so
What's that,
y'all
Mac?
know, I was gonna say, just so y'all know, since I can guarantee you I will not be here on Wednesday. I'll be deep in the Alpine wilderness. There is a website that I've used previously called Pseudo Swap, where you can plug in the contract and you can swap for a very, very minimal fee. I've used it multiple times. So
Oh, nice.
that way you can trade directly NFT for NFT.
Wow, it's trustless.
yeah.
Okay, it's like a platform where you put them both in there, and then
Yep.
it trades them out for you. All right, good.
Yep, you can put in what NFT and number you want to trade, and you can even specifically say that you only want to trade for another specific NFT and number. So you could do a straight up just swap.
That's dope.
Let's do it. Hey, maybe we'll do a live some pseudo swap. All right, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Alpha man. Thanks for that info. That's what we're here for. That's what Prime Minds is here for. All that said, guys, we're wrapping. I got to get lunch. We will see you on Spaces on Wednesday. We will see you on Saturday for episode 15. Until then, as you know, as always, Prime Minds think alike. Peace.